Hello everyone, welcome to MASA Military. Facing Xi Jinping's continuous threats of military force against Taiwan and repeated military exercises around the island nation, the Biden administration has been exploring strategies to respond. Recently, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Philippine President Bongbong visited the White House and issued a joint statement mentioning the issue of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. The new presidents of South Korea and the Philippines have both abandoned their former pro-China positions, reversed their national policies, not only being pro-American but also strengthening military cooperation and openly expressing concern for peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. South Korea, Japan, and the Philippines not only shifted their political allegiance towards the United States, but also strengthened their alliance relationship with the US in military actions. It can be said that the important countries of the first island chain have united, and the East Asian NATO, which encircles and deters China, is taking shape. The concept of the island chain proposed during the Cold War is playing a role once again today, and it seems to be true that things are starting to turn for the good. Today I want to talk about the importance of the US-Philippine military alliance in the Taiwan Strait. On April 8th, the PLA held a 3-day military exercise around Taiwan, followed by the annual Balikatan 23 joint military exercise between the United States and the Philippines from April 11th to the 28th. This was the largest joint military exercise between the two countries since the end of the Cold War. At the time, the Philippines Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo, who was visiting the United States, said, "Taiwan is right next door. We're looking very carefully at both developments related to Taiwan." China claims Taiwan as its territory and has vowed to bring the island under its control one day and by force if necessary. The Balikatan exercise included maritime security defense, amphibious island seizing operations, and live fire sinking of a target ship. A total of about 17,600 troops participated, including 12,000 from the US, over 5,000 from the Philippines, and over 100 from Australia. Japan also sent military observers to participate. The exercise involved the use of the Patriot air defense missile system, HIMARS, multiple rocket launchers, and for the first time, live fire exercises were conducted to sink a target ship in the South China Sea. US fighter jets also participated in the attack on the target ship. Not only was the scale of the exercise large, but the location chosen was also noteworthy. The exercise was held in 3 locations, with a focus on the north of the province of Cagayan, on the northernmost peninsula of Luzon. The Batanes Islands in this area are a major island group in the Bashi Channel, with Bataan Island being only 400 kilometers from Taiwan. The goal of conducting military exercises in the Batanes Islands is to control the Bashi Channel, including anti-ship and submarine capabilities, which has important practical significance for future cooperation with the Taiwanese military to protect military bases in eastern Taiwan. The Philippines not only guards the Strait of Malacca, but also directly faces the South China Sea Islands, making it strategically significant. A 1947 military bases agreement gave the United States a 99-year lease on a number of Philippine military and naval bases, and which gave the U.S. authorities virtual territorial rights. However, in 1991, the military base agreement expired. At that time, the Iron Curtain of the Soviet Union was collapsing, and global military confrontation was easing. So under the strong push of nationalists, on September 16, 1991, the Philippine Senate rejected renewal of the bases agreement by a slim margin. By the end of 1992, the U.S. military had completely withdrawn from the Philippines. However, US-Philippine military cooperation did not stop. In 1999, the Philippine Senate passed the Philippines-United States Visiting Forces Agreement, once again strengthening the military cooperation between the US and the Philippines. In the 21st century, China has been continuously expanding in the South China Sea, especially by militarizing the islands and reefs and encroaching on traditional fishing grounds of Southeast Asian countries. In the mid-1990s, China seized the Mischief Reef within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone and began land reclamation and military facility construction, making it one of the most important bases in the South China Sea. In 2012, China and the Philippines engaged in a long standoff over the Scarborough Shoal, but China eventually took control of it. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled that China's 9-dash line has no legal basis under international law. However, China does not recognize the ruling and continues to militarize the islands and reefs in the South China Sea, and even strengthens its fishing law enforcement to drive away the fishing boats of Southeast Asian countries. So in 2014, the Philippines signed the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA, with the United States, allowing the United States to rotate troops into the Philippines for extended stays and allows the United States to build and operate facilities including runways, fuel storage, and military housing on Philippine bases for both American and Philippine forces. However, this is not a permanent presence. The Philippines has promised to open up 5 bases to the US military, and in April of 2023, it opened up 4 more military bases. The US has promised to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure at the previous 5 bases. The 4 new military bases are more strategically significant, so the US military is likely to invest heavily in renovating and rebuilding them. In addition, in May of 2022, the Philippines began allowing the US military to use Subic Bay. It can be said that China, especially Xi Jinping's wolf warrior policy, has pushed the Philippines back into the arms of the United States. The 9 military bases selected by the United States have a high proportion of bases for the Air Force, which can deploy various reconnaissance, transportation, early warning, refueling, and combat aircraft, as well as large unmanned drones, which can significantly reduce the pressure on the U.S. aircraft carrier strike group. With these bases, the U.S. military has a complete group of bases from land, sea, to air in the Philippines. So when carrying out reconnaissance, anti-submarine, island seizing, and anti-ship missions in the South China Sea and the eastern coast of China, they can quickly reach the mission area, and their deterrent effect on China will be even greater. The Philippines is becoming a key strategic point for the U.S. military in the Western Pacific, greatly reinforcing the front line of the first island chain in the south. While echoing the Japanese bases, they can effectively cooperate in defending Taiwan and quickly form a pinch or a counterattack posture. In addition, with the successive participation of Australia and NATO, the ability to contain PLA in the South China Sea and the Western Pacific has significantly increased. Okay, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support MASA Military. See you next time.